Chapter 12. Abdur Rauf Muhammad, Servant of the Most Kind. Abdul Muiz Muhammad had 3 sons. After completing their scholarship in the Quran and Hadith, each set out in different directions to spread Islam in India. The youngest, Abdur Rauf Muhammad, traveled south toward the Deccan. After 7 days of travel, he encountered an army on the march. Greeting them with salam, he was seized. By order of the tyrant, every man was conscripted, declaring himself a scholar and storyteller, not a soldier. He was arrested and thrown into a dungeon already filled with farmers, merchants, and students torn from their families. Uncertain how long he would remain, Abdur Rauf reflected that prophets and righteous men before him had faced imprisonment and hardship as tests from Allah. He resolved to do the same, filling his time with remembrance, gratitude, and service to those around him. Soon he noticed how the prisoners fell silent at his adhan and were calmed by his Quranic recitations. He lengthened his surahs, and some joined him in salat, while others simply found peace in listening. He began telling stories of prophets and great contributors to Islam, organizing exercise to lift spirits, and gradually built a sense of hope among the captives. Months later, a new prisoner arrived, the dethroned king of that land. Once a beloved ruler, he now sat broken, cursing his enemies, listless and withdrawn. Abdur Rauf pitied him. He told his stories within earshot until one day he recounted the Prophet Muhammad's rejection at Taif, bloodied and humiliated, yet forgiving his enemies, trusting they might one day turn to Islam. "If you forgive those who wronged you," Abdur Rauf said gently, "Allah may reward you with more." The king, struck, stopped cursing, though forgiveness still weighed heavy on his heart. "Has a prophet ever been jailed like me?" he asked. "Yes," Abdur Rauf replied. "Prophet Yusuf spent years in prison." He told Yusuf's story, betrayed by jealous brothers, cast into a well, sold in Egypt, falsely accused and jailed. Even there, Yusuf's wisdom was recognized when he interpreted dreams. One companion freed, the other executed just as he had foretold. Years later, Pharaoh himself summoned him, after a troubling dream of fat cows consumed by lean ones, and full ears of grain devoured by barren stalks. Yusuf refused to leave prison until his innocence was established. Once cleared, he interpreted the dream as 7 years of plenty, followed by 7 years of famine, and was placed in charge of Egypt's granaries. His patience lifted him from despair to honor, and eventually reunited him with his father and brothers, whom he forgave. The king was moved to repentance. Soon news came. The tyrant had fallen in battle. The prisoners were freed, and the king restored to his throne. Hurrying home, he found his wife safe, holding twin sons. Overjoyed, he named one Yusuf, and, at Abdur Rauf's suggestion, the other Hassan, paired with Hussein, as the prophet had named his grandsons. Abdur Rauf reminded him that good names shape character and draw Allah's mercy. Yet the kingdom lay in ruins, orchards destroyed, fields barren, famine widespread. The king sought Abdur Rauf's counsel. After surveying the land, Abdur Rauf told him, "7 years will be needed to restore prosperity. Orchards must be replanted, but meanwhile turn to the sea. Fish will sustain your people while the fields and herds return." The king offered him the post of minister. Abdur Rauf declined. He was a storyteller, not an administrator. His mission was dawah, already delayed. Before leaving, he addressed the restless people. "Be patient and remember Allah. Relief comes to those who endure." He told them of the Prophet Muhammad's boycott in Mecca. 3 years of hunger so severe his followers ate grass, and his beloved wife died in that time. Yet he counseled patience until the boycott was lifted. "You have the sea's bounty," Abdur Rauf said. "Unlike the Prophet, you will not starve." If you remain steadfast, success will come sooner than you think." His words inspired them. Within 3 years, they had become skilled fishermen, turning their city into a seafood trade hub. Soon the orchards and fields revived, and prosperity and worship returned. Seeing the people grateful and steadfast, Abdur Rauf set off for his next destination, his mission fulfilled.